Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we would apparently like to do number 9 out of 10.8, which says what?
Says that, yeah.
We're not
Okay, so they gave me 4 points, and I'm supposed to decide whether the vectors, so the vector that goes from point 1 to point 2,
Does it equal?
and I'm wondering, is this vector, right, equal to what?
0.3 and 0.4.
Yeah, the vector that goes from point 3 to point 4.
The answer is sometimes.
And they're not equal.
Okay, how did you figure that out? What did
I
you do?
minused P2 from P1. And then P4 from, or P3 from P4, P1 from P2.
Good, cool. So these guys, right? These two, those are your what? Starting or ending spots?
Ending. Oh, starting.
Starting spots. These are your initials. And whatever. And these guys are your terminals, your ending. So to get vectors like the vector that goes from P1 to P2, what do I do? Yeah, so take the spot you end with, think about it as a vector, so that's 3, -2, right? So I thought about my terminal point as a vector, and then what am I supposed to do with this?
Minus
Subtract the,
5, 1.
yeah, the initial point for that one. You guys see that? So this is going to give me the vector P1, P2, right? Starting at P1, ending at P2. You guys cool with this? Why can't I just do this with round brackets on here? Because those are points and I don't know how to subtract points. You guys see that? I do know how to subtract vectors, right? I just add minus the vector. And I can actually execute this operation. So what do you get out of this business?
1 and -6.
-2 and -3, I think. Okay, and then we should cobble this same mess together for the vector from P3 to P4. And so we should be subtracting from 9, -4, what? -1, 3. Oops, -1, 3. Okay, so what do you get out of this? 9 minus -1 is 10, comma, -7. Okay, so are these the same?
No.
No, these are in fact different vectors. Are these in fact related in a kind of obvious or reasonable way? What do I mean by obvious or reasonable way? Yeah, I might wonder, are these going in the same direction? Is one of them the opposite of the other? Like maybe I screwed up the order of one of my pairs of points. You guys see any of that going on?
They're both going down.
Yeah, so this one is actually a bit confusing, right? Because this one's going back and down. So if I had to think about this, right? Back 2, down 3, something like this. How about this other vector? It's going right 10 units, which is like over here maybe, and then down 7, so it might look something like this. Comes up fine. Don't worry, I'm a professional. Questions on this? You guys good with this thought? What's up?
So I was curious, if, let's say the second one was -6, you could factor that? Or could you factor it and then could it be the same? Like,
Yeah, sure.
so if it was a more convenient number.
I might notice this one, right? Both things have a -1 in it, right? So I might think, hey, why don't I factor a -1 out of that? What am I going to be left with? 2, 3. I'm going to keep doing that. Because so that says this is the opposite of the vector 2, 3, right? So if I go 2 units over and 3 units up, right? And then flip it, I get the same thing, right? You guys see that?
My question was more,
It was more like, if this was a 6, could I factor a 5 or a
if
3?
we forget about all this and we say this is negative 10 and this is negative 6, then we could factor some stuff because that would be, if we could factor it.
Yeah,
could we?
I think I know what to do.
We want to take 2 out of the negative 10.
So,
Like, would it still be equal is what I'm asking, or what happens?
no, it wouldn't be equal. What we might find out is something like they point in the same direction.
One just goes farther.
So, for example, if I had the vector 2, 3, right? And someplace else I had the vector 10, 15,
There we go. That's what we did.
right? I might notice that this vector 10, 15 is 2, 3, but times 5. And so what I found is that this vector and that vector point in the same direction. Right? They're parallel but not the same vector. Right? The direction information is the same, but the magnitude information is different.
They're just parallel. Got it.
Yeah. You guys cool with that?
Mm-hmm.